A narcissist expects everything to go back to normal after everything they did. Have you ever noticed how a narcissist can hurt you deeply, disappear when you need them most, create chaos in your life, and then return acting as if absolutely nothing happened? One of the most frustrating things about dealing with a narcissist is their expectation that everything should instantly go back to normal. No accountability, no genuine apology, no acknowledgement of the damage they caused. Just an expectation that you should move on and act like the past never happened. If you have ever experienced this, then you know how confusing and emotionally exhausting it can be. Today, we're going to explore why narcissists expect this, what it reveals about their mindset, and why understanding it can help you protect your peace and your self-respect. A narcissist often sees relationships very differently than healthy people do. Most people understand that trust is built through consistent actions and can be damaged through hurtful behavior. They know that when they cause pain, they must take responsibility and work to repair the relationship. A narcissist, however, often views relationships through the lens of their own needs and desires. Their primary concern is usually how situations affect them rather than how their actions affect others. Because of this, they may believe that if they are ready to move forward, everyone else should be ready too. Your feelings become secondary to their comfort and convenience. The emotional wounds they created are often treated as minor inconveniences rather than serious issues that deserve attention. One reason narcissists expect everything to go back to normal is because acknowledging the damage would require accountability. Accountability is uncomfortable for someone who has spent years protecting a fragile self-image. Admitting they were wrong forces them to confront flaws they desperately try to avoid seeing. Instead of facing those flaws, they often choose denial, minimization, or blame shifting. If they can convince themselves that nothing serious happened, then they do not have to deal with guilt or responsibility. This allows them to maintain the illusion that they are always justified in their actions. Unfortunately, this illusion often comes at the expense of the people closest to them. Another reason is that narcissists frequently expect access without earning trust. They may betray your confidence, disrespect your boundaries, or abandon you during difficult times. Yet when they return, they often expect the same level of affection, loyalty, and emotional support they had before. In their mind, your role is to provide what they need regardless of what they have done. They may become irritated or offended when you hesitate to trust them again. They view your caution as a problem rather than a natural response to their behavior. This creates a dynamic where you are expected to carry the emotional burden while they avoid accountability. Many narcissists also have difficulty empathizing with the long-term impact of emotional pain. They may understand that you are upset in the moment, but they struggle to appreciate how deeply their actions affected you. What feels like a life-changing betrayal to you may feel like a temporary disagreement to them. As a result, they often underestimate the healing process required after emotional wounds. They expect forgiveness before trust has been rebuilt. They expect closeness before safety has been restored. And they expect normality before any meaningful repair has taken place. This disconnect can leave you feeling unseen, unheard, and emotionally invalidated. Sometimes a narcissist will return after a period of silence and act unusually friendly. They may speak warmly, joke with you, or behave as though the conflict never happened. At first, this can feel confusing because it creates a strange contrast between their behavior and your emotional reality. You are still processing the pain while they seem completely unaffected by it. This is often not because they have healed the relationship. It is because they have decided that the issue is no longer important to them. In their mind, their decision to move on should automatically become your decision as well. They rarely stop to consider whether you have received the closure, validation, or accountability you needed. A narcissist may also become frustrated when you bring up past behavior. They might accuse you of being negative, dramatic, or unable to let things go. They may say things like, "Why are you still talking about that?" Or, "Can't we just move on?" These statements often sound reasonable on the surface. However, moving on is only healthy when genuine healing has occurred. Ignoring unresolved issues is not the same thing as healing them. When someone repeatedly dismisses your concerns, they are often protecting themselves rather than protecting the relationship. True resolution requires honesty, accountability, and mutual understanding. One of the most painful aspects of this dynamic is the pressure it places on the other person. You may feel guilty for holding on to your hurt. You may wonder if you are being too sensitive or expecting too much. You may even question your own memory of events. Over time, this can lead to self-doubt and emotional confusion. The narcissist's insistence that everything is fine can make you feel isolated in your experience. You know something important happened, yet you are being treated as though it never existed. This emotional disconnect can be incredibly damaging to your sense of reality. Healthy relationships operate very differently. In a healthy relationship, both people recognize that actions have consequences. When harm occurs, there is a willingness to listen, understand, and make amends. Trust is not demanded but rebuilt through consistent behavior. Forgiveness is not expected on command, but earned through genuine effort. Both individuals understand that emotional healing takes time. They respect each other's feelings even when those feelings are uncomfortable. This mutual respect creates safety, trust, and lasting connection. If a narcissist expects everything to go back to normal, it is important to remember that you are not obligated to participate in that fantasy. You have the right to acknowledge what happened. You have the right to recognize the impact it had on your life. You have the right to require accountability before rebuilding trust. You have the right to set boundaries that protect your emotional well-being. And you have the right to decide whether the relationship is healthy enough to continue. Their desire for comfort does not outweigh your need for emotional safety. One of the strongest things you can do is refuse to ignore your own reality. Do not allow someone else's denial to erase your experience. Do not let their impatience rush your healing process. Your emotions exist for a reason. Your pain deserves acknowledgement. Your boundaries deserve respect. And your trust deserves to be earned, not demanded. The moment you stop accepting less is often the moment you begin reclaiming your power. The truth is that a narcissist expects everything to go back to normal because normal benefits them. Normal means they avoid accountability. Normal means they regain access to your attention and emotional energy. Normal means they do not have to confront the consequences of their actions. But what benefits them may not benefit you. Sometimes the healthiest response is not returning to what was normal. Sometimes the healthiest response is creating a new standard for how you allow yourself to be treated. And that new standard may be exactly what protects your peace, your dignity, and your future happiness. If this message resonated with you, remember this powerful truth. You are not required to forget the hurt simply because someone else is tired of hearing about it. You are not required to trust someone who has not earned that trust back. And you are not required to return to a version of normal that repeatedly caused you pain. Real healing requires honesty. Real relationships require accountability. And real self-respect begins the moment you stop abandoning your own reality to make someone else comfortable.